Okay, I've had several people ask me about creating contact groups in Gmail, whether that be a group of students or maybe a group of advisory committee members or whatever. So in this brief training video, we're going to walk you through creating groups. Rule number one when creating groups, and this is always the case, in order for somebody to exist as a group member, they must first be a contact somewhere. So that means they either have to exist in your contact list as an individual, or they have to exist in what's called the directory. The directory is simply a listing of everybody who has an @uppervalleycc.org email account, whether it be a students.uppervalleycc.org or just a traditional @uppervalleycc.org. So let's go ahead and we've already got Gmail launched here. We're going to come up to our contacts. One way to get to the contacts. Another way is to go through the Google Apps icon up here. And then select contacts from there. So either way, you're going to end up at about the same place. So we're into our contacts list here. The first thing I want to do is I want to create a new group. So I've got a junior lab group here. I'm going to create a senior lab group as well. Now if you'll notice over on the left hand side, I don't say anything about a group, but if I bring my mouse over here, this will open up. Sometimes you do have to click a little drop down list, or there's a see additional items listing where this will expand fully for you. So what I want to do is at this point create a new group. So I'll just call this one Senior Lab. So you'll notice now up at the top under My Contacts I have a Junior Lab and a Senior Lab, but neither one of them have anybody in them. So they're both empty. So the easiest way to get your students into these groups is to come down to the bottom here again and click on Directory. Now the directory will give a listing of all staff and all students. So we're talking about almost 1,000 or a little bit more than 1,000 accounts actually between staff and students. And these are only staff and students that have uppervalleycc.org or students.uppervalleycc.org. Some of our adult ed students actually have @atc.uppervalleycc.org email accounts. So here are all of our student accounts. In a nutshell, what you're going to do is you're going to locate those student accounts and you're going to click the check box next to their name. And then you're going to come up here to the top where it's your groups button, and you're going to drop that groups button down, and you're going to click on whichever lab you would want them to be in, or whichever group or groups you want them to be in, because you could have them in more than one group. So let's say these are all seniors. I click apply. My senior lab now has those 3 individuals in them. Okay, so again, I'm down here. I'm using the directory. I'm finding the names. Now you'll notice because the directory is over 1,000 names, that it will paginate for you, which means you'll have to go, next. And so now I'm Betty Larger through Christian Jenkins, and then next. And so another quicker way maybe to find your students is just to look at the last names. So I'm going to do Smith and search. And so now it'll show under my contacts or under the domain contacts anybody with the last name of Smith. So let's go with Mr. Drake here, and let's find another student. That's Kira here. So at this point I've got my students in here, and I can come down to the group again and add them to, let's add these two to the junior lab. So you'll see how you kind of build your contact list that way. Again, they do have to exist as a contact somewhere. So they either have to exist under your My Contacts, or they have to exist in the directory, which everybody that has an @uppervalleycc.org email account or at students.uppervalleycc.org will exist in the directory. So that's one way to create the group. If you're doing this for advisory committee members, again, your advisory committee members are going to have personal email addresses, so they won't exist in our directory. You're going to have to create new contacts for them under your contacts. So I could come in here, new contacts, put their name in, put their email address, and all that good information. And then once they exist as a contact, then I'll be able to search for them and add them to a group. So again, they have to exist as a contact somewhere before they can exist as part of a group. Now, if you're using Google Classroom, let me show you a quick and easy way to email groups as well. So I'm going to come down here to my Google Classroom, and I'm going to click in this class that I've started, and then I'm going to come over to the Students tab. And again, I can click on certain individuals, or if I want everybody, I can click the little checkbox up here at the top, which selects everybody. And then under Actions, there is an email. So if I click on email, it's going to drop me back into my Gmail, and it's going to take all the students and add them as individual emails email addresses to that email, and I can go ahead and complete that email and send it that way. So again, if you're utilizing Google Classroom, it kind of takes that group function for you and provides that to you through Google Classroom. You can also have them exist as a contact group in Gmail itself under contacts if you want to do that as well. But just kind of two different ways to email all of your students. If you have any questions, feel free to create a help desk ticket or contact a member of the tech staff. Otherwise, thank you for your time.